Hi there and welcome to Lesson 12. Look how far you've come since Lesson 1 and all the things you've learned about playing the harp. First we're going to talk about more terms and symbols. We did some of these in our last lesson, but there are still some more that you need to know. First of all, ACCEL is the abbreviation for accelerate the tempo or get faster. And you see this written in the margin of the music all the time. RIT, I think you've had this one before, stands for retard or to slow the tempo down. Quite a bit actually. Usually you see this at the end of the piece or at the end of a section. PDLT means près de la table, which is French, and it means play close to the table or play close to the soundboard, like this. It gives it a different sound than when you're playing up here. I use this effect when I'm playing the introduction to the theme from the Titanic movie. It gives it that little kind of mysterious sound. But that's près de la table. Sometimes you'll see it written on the bottom of the bass line or on the bottom of the line or the top just as a little squiggle line. And it'll go across the line, and that means the same thing when you see that. Okay, the next one, I could not get that symbol to go up there, so I had to draw it. That's not in my program. That means to damp. When you see, it's sort of an oval with a little cross through it. To damp or stop the strings with the palm of your hand. Now normally, you wouldn't, if you do a lot of damping, you wouldn't wear rings or anything on your hand that can cause the string to buzz, because if you're playing and you hear that ring. But I didn't take mine off, so if you do have your ring on, you just have to be careful not to hit your ring on there. It's just simple, stop the strings. Just like that. I don't use this too much because most of the music I play is dinner music, and you want it to reverberate as long as it can and to vibrate. And of course when you damp the strings, they stop vibrating like right now. So it's used a lot for fast music, some Irish music that's fast, and some marches and things that are in a quick tempo. Okay, the next symbol is to knock on the soundboard, and it's a little circle with a little line under it, and you actually knock. You can be knock on your soundboard. And it's just an effect you can use. It helps put a little variety in your music. Again, this would be used, sometimes they use it with children's songs or faster songs or songs where you might want to have a hand clap in there. You can't actually clap your hands when you're playing the harp unless you do it way up high, so you can knock on your soundboard. Some of the foreign music uses knocks like this too. Okay, the next one is poco, P-O-C-O, and that means a little. Either to get a little faster or a little slower. It's usually together with another word that means a little bit. Okay, the next one is an X. I think we've had that already. That means a crossover or a cross under. They usually put an X on your music there where the crossover or under actually takes place. Okay, the next one is a little circle. We're going to talk about that in this lesson. It's a little circle that is not colored in. Oh, I skipped one. I'm sorry. The circle that it is colored in, it's a smaller circle, and it means staccato. Now that's a detached note. You actually put it's another form of damping, but you don't take your whole hand up there. You usually use staccato when you're just playing one or two notes. You put your finger back on there and stop the note. Because although that note gets its time value that was allocated to it, it is a short, quick note. You still don't play the next note until it's time, but you stop that note. Okay, now we come to the circle that is not colored in, and that's a harmonic. When you see that circle that is not colored in, it means do the harmonic. and we're going to be talking about that in just a few minutes. Okay, the harmonic is plucking a note in such a way as to create a harmonic, and it sounds like the same note one octave higher, and it's used mostly as an ornamentation. Again, I don't use this too much because it mutes the note and you don't get the vibration that you do normally, but it makes a middle C sound like the C above, or an F sound like the F above. Okay, we'll be talking about that in just a few minutes. Okay, I have an example of the damp down here, and poco a poco means decrescende, or get softer little by little, and slow down, R-I-T. Okay, that's it for that page, and we'll continue on to the next page. I wanted to show you how a harmonic sounds when you actually do it on your harp. This is the symbol, the little open circle, and you can do it with your right hand and your left hand, either one. And the method is different with each hand. So let me show you this right hand one first. This is something that I don't use very often, so I'm not very practiced at it. There is one spot on the string toward the middle, well, it should be in the middle, where you can make your harmonic and it will sound like this note when you're playing this one. You use this part of your finger right between the two knuckles and you put it on the string the same time your thumb is on there. You hear that? Now, people that use harmonics a lot will actually put a little marker on there to indicate where their thumb plays, and then they automatically put their thumb to that spot when they get ready to play their harmonic. With your left hand, I find these easier. You're going to use this heel of your hand right there, and it's going to go on the string along with your thumb. So in this case, your wrist does have to bend. That sounds just like the octave above it. And that's how you do harmonics. And you can do it on any note, but you might have to feel around a while. This is not something that you can just go up to and go bing and have it be correct. You have to work on this a little bit, and as do I, to get it to work. So when we're playing the song that has the harmonics in it, if you get it, okay, and if you don't, just go ahead. You can go back and practice that. Same with me. I might hit it and I might not because I don't have it marked here. People that have done this over and over and over and are very practiced at it know where to hit it. I don't use it very often, but I wanted you to know how to do it. Now back over to our page again. Here's an example of PDLT, or Près de la Table. It's usually not spelled all the way out. It's usually abbreviated, or you see that line. That's an example of that, and that meant you would play that very close to your soundboard, enough to make it distorted. This is your knocking on the soundboard symbol. Don't get that confused with damp, which is this one. And then you've got accelerate, which means speed up. They want you to speed this up. It's also getting louder, which is the crescendo, which means to get louder. And then damp that last note. Okay? We're going to talk about dynamics now. Up until this lesson, we've been playing everything at about the same volume, sort of a medium volume. But in order to make your music interesting and the way the composer intended it to be, you need to get loud and get soft, and loud and soft and medium and speed up and slow down and accent, and do it all quickly sometimes. Sometimes it's gradual, sometimes it goes from very loud to very soft immediately. And it makes your music interesting to listen to, keeps your audience awake. So let's talk about some of these dynamics. P stands for piano, or soft. So that would be, now you can gauge this by the way you play your harp. That would be just not stroking it too hard, just, you know, kind of softly. Not too difficult to do. 2 P's is pianissimo, or very soft. So you just do it a little softer. You still follow through. Just because you're playing it soft doesn't mean you get to do this little weenie pick. You have to do it soft, but follow through. Okay? MP is mezzo piano or medium soft, and MF is mezzo forte or medium loud. So, you know, medium loud is bordering on loud, medium soft is bordering on soft, but sort of just medium. F is forte, which means loud, and double F is fortissimo, which is very loud. And you can strike those strings hard and follow through and make a very loud sound on that harp. Okay, there's even triple F, which is very, very loud, and triple P, which is very, very soft. Okay, so those you can pretty well figure out. It's either P's or F's with M's or doubles or whatever, and they're pretty easy to get into your memory. Then we have the SFZ, which stands for sforzando, or sudden. It's a sudden, strong accent line. It's like a forzando. It would be in a march or a song that you want to do a sudden burst. A lot of classical music use forzandos in their music. Okay, crescendo. I was talking about this a few minutes ago. It gets louder, so this measure, you've got a forzando, and then it gets louder, builds up to a double F. You know, it's gradual. It depends on how long they give you to do it. If they give you 2 measures, then you can build up a little more gradually. If they only give you 1 measure, then you have to hurry up and get it done. Decrescendo, they want you to build up to this double F, play that, and then go back down. And here you are back down at very soft in just a matter of 4 measures. So you're building up here, and you get very soft. And it can be very, very, very nice to listen to. Okay, these little marks are accent marks. Strong accent, a weaker accent, and a very strong accent. Again, it's kind of like a sforzando. Usually, sometimes you see those together even, and it just, they want you to stomp on those notes a little bit and accent them. Bring them out. Crescendo means to increase. Decrescendo means to decrease. And diminish is D-I-M, means to diminish or make less. We're going to work on our first song in this lesson now, and I've chosen Christ Arose. It's an Easter song about the resurrection. And the reason I picked this song is because of the dynamics that it has in it. We're going to go through it 1 measure at a time, sort of, and let you know how it's going to go so that you can practice on it at your own speed. Go ahead and print these sheets out if you haven't already so that you can follow along with it as I discuss it. It starts out double soft and adagio, or very slowly. And it's in 4/4 time, and so we're going to go softly and slowly through those first few measures. And here it begins to accelerate. It accelerates and it gets a little louder up to medium soft, or mezzo piano. Here we have an accidental, an F sharp. Now if your harp does not have F sharps, you're not going to have time to take your tuner and tune that F up to an F sharp. So just play a G. And this is what you do when you run into an accidental if you don't have levers. You just go ahead and play a neighboring note. Experiment with it a little bit and see which one you think sounds the best. And most of the time the people won't even notice. So go ahead and play a G there instead of an F sharp if you don't have levers. If you have levers, however, I'm going to make you flip that F lever, and you're going to do that right here, right after you play that note with your left hand. Flip your F lever, play this measure, and then play this damp note here. You're going to stop and damp that G with your hand, and then put your F back to an F natural. I was going through this and I forgot to do that because you're working on damping that note. So you're going to have to concentrate on that or you'll forget it like I did. Okay, then we're going to go ahead to the chorus. And this is where it gets faster. This is Up From the Grave He Arose time over here. And it's allegro, but not too allegro, but allegro ma non trop, which means fast but not too fast. Okay? And it's also loud. And you've got damp, 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 damp. Now, you don't have to damp your top hand here because you've got too many notes to go in there and damp all those. You wouldn't be playing anything. They're fast enough that you can get that done and it's still going to sound short enough. This is sort of like a march kind of a beat here for a little while. So you're going along, you're in, still in 4/4, damp those notes there, play your Up From the Grave He Arose, and then you've got some contrary motion there, so beware of that. And here you have 3 staccato notes. Staccato, or in this case it's 1, 1, 3, 4. However that's comfortable for you to do. If it's comfortable with a 2, I think it's more comfortable with a 2 than the 3 I've got written there. Depends on your harp. If you have a larger harp, probably 2 is more comfortable. And either way is okay. Just because I have a 3 there, that's not written in stone that you have to use your 3rd finger. And some people would even do it like this. Because it's staccato, it's a special circumstance. So either way that is comfortable for you. Go ahead here with the song. You've got more staccatos. Those are the same notes, so that's going to be easier for you to do. Just hit it, stop it. You know, not too bad. Then you go ahead with the song. Down here you have a 4th finger slide, and it's getting slower. Okay? It goes to double F here. This is the big finale of the song here. And then you have a fermata, bird's eye there. So you're going to hold that note and then do this with your left hand as sort of a repeat of that. Hold this note, not hold it on the harp, but just let it ring for a little extra long time because people hold that when they sing it. Then you do this again, you have another fermata and then another fermata. This is the grand finale of the song. There is a 3rd page. Let me do this over here. Okay. It goes ahead here, some accent marks, and then at the last note I've got you damping your left hand but not your right hand. So you've kind of got a mix of damp and sforzando there. Okay, then we're going to repeat the chorus. So we're going to come right back here to where the repeat sign goes back to and repeat the chorus again, doing the exact same thing you did. Now this is going to take you a little while to get all these techniques together so that we're able to play it. We will play it very slowly, so don't worry too much about it. But take your time, go through it, play your right hand separately, then your left hand, and then put them together, and then we'll come back and play the song together. We're ready to play Christ Arose now. We're going to do it very slowly, even slower than it would go because of the fast part that comes later. So I'm going to give you a 1, 2, ready, play, and then we'll begin. Nice hand position, and let's play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, play. is a jig that I wrote for my book called Beyond the Cliffs of Moher, and it's got all kinds of songs about Ireland in it. This one is in 6/8 time, and now an eighth note gets 1 count, a quarter note gets 2 counts, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Your 16th notes come in here, ba, 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 ba. So remember those. We're going to do this slowly so you won't have to move your fingers too quickly. And then we have some little grace notes in there. Remember, they don't get any time value. You have to work those in between count number 1 and count number 2. Ba da da da. Ba da da da. Okay? So that you have to work on, practice those just a little bit so you can get them in there without disrupting your tempo. Notice we have 2 repeat signs back to back here. This is a backward repeat, which means it goes back to the beginning since there is no sign anywhere else. It goes back to the beginning, repeats the first half, and then we have another one, and you notice at the end of the song it goes back to here and repeats the last half of the song. This is very common with Irish music, jigs and reels, etc. So you'll see that a lot if you play a lot of Irish music. There really isn't anything else new in here except the grace notes and the 16th notes in 6/8 time. So give yourself some time, print this out, practice it, and then we'll come back and play it. I'm going to give you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, play, only much more slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, play. Repeat. Repeat. Very nice. The time has come. That's right. The time has come for you to play a song with no fingering written. Aren't you excited? I know you can do it because you've been practicing all this time to get ready for this moment. This song is the Carnival of Venice. It's a classical song and it's not too difficult. It's in waltz tempo, which means 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it starts on the 3rd count, so it has a pickup note. It has lots of tie notes, so be careful of those. Print it out, practice it, get the fingering that feels comfortable and that looks right to you. Remember, you can't just pick with one finger. You have to place your fingers like you've been taught the rest of those 12 lessons. Okay, you practice and we'll play it together. Are you ready? I hope so. We're going to play the Carnival of Venice together now, and I'm going to give you a 1, 2, 3, ready, play. And we're going to go, as usual, slowly. 1, 2, 3, ready, play. that's it for lesson 12. I'll see you next time for lesson 13. We have some old favorites next time.